Cinema.
Welcome back to War with Cinema. I'm your host, Greg, your local metalhead, and with me is...
Par the Collector. What's up, everybody?
And you gave me Eastern Promises.
Yes, man. This is the greatest fucking movie, dude. I love this movie. It's definitely in my top 10 gangster flicks. And just another performance to prove that Viggo Mortensen is one of the most underappreciated actors in Hollywood.
Yeah, I had to rewatch this one. I haven't seen it in a hot minute, but yeah, I have to agree with that. So...
It's like the Russian Godfather, I feel like. Not, I wouldn't go that grand a scale, obviously, because the Godfather is about a very well-established mafia family. This is pretty much like a branch of the Russian mob that's in England, which is a very real thing because during that time period, it was really hard for Russian gangsters to move around in Russia because whoever was running it at the time wasn't really fond of them, at least out in the open.
Right.
It's really weird because I read into it after I saw this movie because I realized like how much I did not know about the Russian mob. So I kind of read into it a little bit, and one of the most wanted individuals in the world is the head of a Russian mafia clan.
Really?
And did you know that he lives 3 blocks from the Kremlin? Like...
No, I did not
Him
know
and
that.
Putin, I mean, I wouldn't say they're friends, like they ain't out in public shaking hands and shit together, but like he's obviously putting enough money in the government's pocket that they ain't worried because he's wanted in like 7 different countries. He's not supposed to be somebody that's walking around. They say this man drives in a limo everywhere he goes, fucking 12 bodyguards, with him. Like he's out in the open, like living his life.
That's Russia.
Yeah. But like, so it's weird to think that, they would set up, but it's just like the Russian mob in New York and places in America. Like if they feel like they could take over and they feel like they could get some money made, they're going to send a crew over.
Right.
And I feel like this is what this is. Like this guy was a Russian mob boss in Russia, but because he's made so many enemies in Russia, he had to come somewhere else.
Right.
And now he's got his family in England.
I love that this is such like a contained story. So
Yeah.
It's a very like small piece of a bigger pie. But how did you come across this movie?
Okay, so I was living with my girlfriend at the time as I was in high school when this movie came out. And I had just saw A History of Violence. My buddy had it on DVD, and he was like, bro, have you seen this movie with Viggo Mortensen? And I'm like, I saw the preview for it, man, but I never really watched it. Like, it didn't look that good to me. He's like, you need to watch this movie. So we watched it, and I thought it was really good. I liked History of Violence. And I'm pretty sure it's the same guy that directs this.
David Cronenberg, which was surprising. I didn't know he directed this.
I think he directed A History of Violence too.
Yeah, he did.
So I heard that they had another movie that they did together, and then I saw the trailer for it, and all I needed to see was Viggo Mortensen with all them tattoos, and I was like, oh, I'm going to see this fucking movie.
Yeah.
Me and my girlfriend went and saw it the day it came out, and then I went and bought it on DVD the day at Walmart. I'll never forget. I paid $20 for just a regular ass DVD. I still have that one to this day at my house.
This is the one that
That's
I have.
the exact same one, bro, with the snap and everything, dude.
Yeah, this is back when I was working at Walmart, and when I got paid, I would buy the new movie that was out. This happened to be the new movie at the time. I took it home, watched it, and I was blown away about how much I liked this movie.
Well, I've always had a thing for organized crime movies and crime dramas.
Right.
So when I saw the trailer, I knew I was going to be hooked. But when I took my girlfriend, because she didn't give a fuck about shit like that, and she came out of it, and I said, well, what'd you think about it? And she was like, it was actually really good. And I was like, oh, so it's a good movie. It's not just a gangster movie. Like, it's a good movie.
Yeah.
And, but yeah, I've always loved this movie. The Turkish bathhouse scene alone.
Yeah. Everyone talks about the fucking.
Woo! So beautifully fucking shot, dude. So brutal, so violent, dude. It's just, I don't know. It's fantastic.
Yeah. So whenever you told me we were doing this one, I got excited because they just released this one recently, and this gives me a reason to pick it up. It's the 4K release of Eastern Promises.
That's a cool cover too.
Yeah. So I was like, I'm gonna get it, and it went down to $15 on Amazon. So I went ahead and
just add
the
to cart.
Add to cart. Yeah. So rewatching this was a real treat.
So Naomi Watts plays Anna. She's a nurse, and the movie starts off with her working at a pharmacy or in the hospital.
Well, it does.
No, sorry, she's not there. It's the girl. Sorry, a girl walks into a pharmacy and she's like bleeding.
Yeah.
And she says something in
She's like, I need help.
Yeah. And then just like collapses.
And the guy is like, what did he say? Methadone. He's like, if you want methadone, I need to see a prescription. Then she just fucking passes out. Blood on the floor.
Yeah. So Naomi Watts, she plays a nurse in a hospital in England, and she delivers this baby. And the mother dies during birth.
Right.
And she had been on drugs, and she was like 15.
Yeah, you could see the heroin needle marks all up her arm.
Clearly on, drugs and stuff, but you find out later on that it wasn't really her choice in the matter. And this movie really does touch on a lot of...
it's really sad because it's a real thing, that human trafficking,
and
sex
especially
trafficking.
in Europe and stuff, it's like a real thing. Like, especially, I guess, during the time period that they shot this movie or that they're making this movie set in.
Right.
So she has this baby, and the mother had a diary on her.
Yep.
But the thing is the girl was from Russia, like a village in Russia, and I guess they have a bunch of different dialects, like, or whatever, but like she doesn't understand Russian, but she has an uncle.
Yeah, because they're Russian. Like you said, they're in London.
Right. She has a uncle that's Russian that can, read Russian, obviously. So she gives him the diary to
translate
it. And then I think she finds the card for the restaurant, right?
Yeah.
It's
in the diary, yeah.
Right. So she goes to it thinking that maybe the girl worked there.
Right.
Well, it turns out that the restaurant is a front for the Russian mafia, and the owner of it is the boss of said Russian mafia family.
At first, I love that he's just like the sweetest
sweet Mr. Rogers, like just a grandpa.
Like you just want to give this guy a hug and have him give you a plate of spaghetti.
And then, like, the longer the conversation goes on, you start seeing the monster. Like that dude did a great. I forget his name, but
Armin Mueller.
Is that him? That doesn't look like him.
It does look like him.
Does it? Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. It's the fedora's throwing me off in the mustache. He doesn't have a mustache in this.
But yeah.
Yeah, Armin Mueller-Stahl, which I've seen him in other stuff. So, like,
I've seen him around.
He's been around a while, I would imagine. But he does a great job. He plays a very menacing villain.
I was going to say, he's very...
He sells the creepy... Well, I don't say the creepy. He sells the threat without doing much, just like with the words he says, and stuff. Plus, it's really the description of some of the things he does. Not even you see him do them, just like you're hearing about them from this diary.
Yes,
which is read to you like.
It's really well done. I like that they did that because, like, as they're going through the story of the nurse,
she'll be sitting there reading part of it, and you're getting the girl's narration as she's reading the page.
Well, sometimes it's not even like as she's reading, she's like going to a building and they're like reading the dialogue over. And I think that's a really cool, nice touch. I liked it.
Because it's like this girl's already gone, you know what I mean? And you're just hearing about what she went through.
Yeah, because it does start out where she's like, I think she went to school to be a musician and then she ended up going to Russia. And it just like how her life got to this point of being in sex trafficking.
She said, they said we have to do this, but I'm still hopeful that I'll get to sing one day.
Yeah, it's so fucking sad.
And then like by the last entry, she's like, I don't even sing anymore.
Yeah.
I don't want to be alive. Like, it's so fucking sad. Like, and she's like, I tried to kill myself so this baby wouldn't have to see this terrible world. But it didn't work. They pumped my stomach, and it's just fucking brutal, dude. Like I said, it's very, very hard subject matter.
Because you know what happens in real life. Like it's not some made up shit. Like this shit happens daily, and it's.
So, she meets with him, and he's like, "Well, if you'd like, I'll
Yeah, because he's not sure what it is. He
Right.
thinks it is some girl that maybe worked there, so he'll check it out to translate it.
Oh, when he said her name, I feel like he knew because, like, he obviously had a liking for that girl.
Oh, okay.
He raped her multiple times, got her pregnant. Like, he obviously was a fan of hers.
Well, I wasn't sure if he knew
At
who
the
she
brothel.
was at first
No,
until he got the diary.
That's the thing. Like, after the first meeting, like, because the look he gives her when she's like, this is the only one.
Oh, he doesn't know what she wrote. That's the thing.
Right.
Yeah.
And he knows who the girl is, but he don't know what's in there. So he wants to get that from her. And
Right.
the fact that it's in Russian, he's like, oh, okay, so you don't know how to read Russian.
Yeah.
She's like, no, but I made copies of it and gave it to my uncle to do. And then that's when he's like, well, why don't you come back and I'll go through it.
Yeah.
And
She doesn't know what she's getting into
Right.
at all.
and then she goes outside from her first meeting with the with the boss, and Viggo Mortensen's outside by the car.
And with him is,
Yeah, Kirill.
do you remember where he's from? Because I couldn't place his face, and
He's in Ocean's 12. He's in a bunch of movies.
he's in Black Swan.
Yeah.
He's the teacher.
Yeah, he's the teacher. Yeah.
I was like, holy shit, it's him. I didn't.
Yeah, that guy's actually a really big actor. Like, he's been in a bunch of stuff. There he is, Vincent Castle.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's good.
he's very good.
He plays a good bad guy. I feel like everything he's in, he's about. I don't think I've ever seen anything where he's a good guy. Like, he's just like, what do you do? Like, I'm a fucking gangster. I play gangster and everything.
Even in Black Swan, he was fucking
he's
the bad guy.
He was the asshole fucking,
Right.
studio head or whatever.
So yeah, she's trying to get her bike started, and that's when Viggo Mortensen and Creel.
Yeah, well, Kirill just kind of is like a dick to her, you know, like normal. Like, you know, you can tell he's that way to everybody. But, you know, Viggo Mortensen don't really say nothing. And he's like, helps her. Or he tries to help her get it started. And he's like, something's wrong. Like, it's this or it's that. I can fix it for you.
Can I just say how amazing his Russian accent is? Like,
Dude,
I love his Russian accent.
I don't think people, that's why I said, like, I know that he gets love because he's done a bunch of good movies.
He's
But
on
like,
Lord of the Rings.
I don't think he gets the appreciation he should, man, because I've literally seen that man play anything, bro. Have you seen Hidalgo?
No, I haven't.
It's the only horse movie that I ever gave a fuck about, bro. It's just him and this fucking horse out in the desert. You literally think the whole movie, like, these motherfuckers aren't going to make it, man. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's one of the only movies I can remember. I haven't seen that movie since I saw it the first time, but I own it.
It stuck with you.
And it's that good, dude. Like, and I knew from that day, I said, whatever fucking movie this guy's in, I'm going to go watch it. Like,
He is really great, and this definitely shows it because he's just an American.
yeah.
Like, he grew up in the Bronx.
Even with
I
that
think.
fucking name, you know what I mean? Like, you'd think this dude is from
Russia.
from St. Petersburg.
Right.
Like, grew up around the corner from that
Yeah,
shit.
this is one of those movies I'm glad I got into the subtitle thing because his accent is thick.
Well, not just his, like, because like he's the only motherfucker that is American. Like, the rest of these dudes are real deal. Like, I mean, maybe not necessarily Russian, but they are of Eastern European descent.
So it did make it a little easier to understand what they were saying.
I love some of the way they say that shit. Like, I hate it, but like, it's so cool. Like, it's so fucking hard, son. And those tattoos, bro. Like, and you only get them in prison. Like, you can't get them shits on the street. Like, they only give them motherfuckers. Like, you have to tattoo yourself in there. Like, that's just crazy. So like I said, when I first watched this movie back in the day, it sent me down the rabbit hole, dude. I started watching videos on what Russian tattoos mean. Like,
They even have a part in the movie about tattoos. So
yeah, that's what I'm saying. And like, you could tell Cronenberg was like, I wanted to touch on it, but I didn't want to like get too much into that. He goes, because like, I feel like it would have took away from the story. He's like, but I wanted to definitely have it in there,
right,
to let these people know,
because it's so important, yeah.
Right. Because it tells your story, your criminal story. Like, and like when they do the Kremlin on their back, like each top of it has a different one. And that's like things that they've been arrested for. Like, if it's got 3 towers, it's like they're a thief, or if it's got 4, they're a killer. It's just a bunch of cool shit. Like, if they have stuff under their eyes, like it's everything's got a meaning,
right?
So like, all these dudes just like have these like insane tattoos, you know, and to consider what the materials, because it's not like prison in America where like guys can get a hold of shit after a while. Like,
well, even if, because they mentioned you're, what's the word they use? Like you're untouchable or whatever. You're untouched.
Yeah.
I think it's what they said.
You're made.
No, basically, like if you got raped in prison, you got a tattoo that says you were raped in prison.
Yeah.
But they were saying you were untouched. Like he didn't have that happen to him.
Well, that's what he said. Is any of your tattoos forced?
Right.
That's what they mean.
Yeah.
Like, you know, did somebody mark you like you're their bitch? Like, that's what they're asking.
Yeah.
And he's like, it shows you were in prison in Siberia. And he's like, yeah, I spent two years on the punishment block. They called me the stump because they couldn't move me. And they were like, what did your father do? And, you know, and that's what he was telling him, that his dad worked on cars for the government and that he stole the parts and was selling it. And I love that shit. They're like, your father was a weak fuck.
Yeah.
For working for the government.
Yes, he was.
Right? And he was like, yes.
Yeah, your mother was a whore.
He's like, my mother. He's like, fuck your mother. You have no mother.
Yeah, she was a whore. Yeah. I mean, we're jumping to the later.
Yeah, but it's like one of the best scenes of the movie.
It
like,
is.
Dude, that guy's mustache is insane too, bro.
Well, let's get back to it. So then we get into the barber, and this guy looks Russian as fuck. He's bald with this like.
They don't even have a picture of this motherfucker on IMDb. We're looking at it right now. That's why I said this dude is a Russian gangster.
This is the most magnificent mustache I've ever seen.
Second, well, his and the dude in the fucking when they're making him, that guy's got a fucking ridiculous mustache.
Yeah, he does. So he's in the barbershop doing this man's hair.
Oh yeah, I love this scene.
And his nephew comes in. He's like, "This is the kid I was telling you about," and the guy in the chair getting his haircut.
I got tickets, Avi, tickets.
You can tell there's something.
Yeah,
he's not all there.
I love how he says it too. When he's like, "What's wrong with the kid, Avi?" And he's like, "Nothing. He's been touched by the angels."
Oh yeah,
like,
right.
I love that shit.
Yeah.
That's how I explain stupid people to anybody now. They're like, "What's wrong with that motherfucker?" He's been touched by the angels, dog. Don't even.
He's been touched by something.
Nobody gets the reference, but I'm okay with it because like it's still one of my favorite ones.
It's nice to have your own little references.
So you know, if this episode takes off, you can use it if I'm not around. But
you're the one that let them use it in the script.
But yeah, he's like, leave him alone, Avi. He can't even do one simple task his grandfather asks him. And then he just says, fuck it, and grabs the razor, and the old man pulls his head back, and that dude fucking cuts his fucking head open, like saws his neck open.
Saws his neck with that razor blade.
Brutal way to go, dude.
Yeah.
And then Kirill and Vigo's character, Nikolai, they show up, and he's like, who is this? He's like, he's the mortician.
Yeah.
It is like a cool scene because they put him in a deep freeze. So like, Vigo's
he has to use
like
a hair dryer to like thaw him out.
Vigo's like, you put him in the freezer too long. So they had to like thaw him out. And he like rips open his jacket and he's like, did you finish cutting his hair? And he's like, no, why? I thought maybe you'd want $12 from his wallet. Have some respect for a dead man. I like that shit. And then Kirill calls him a pederast and spits fucking nuts or whatever he's chewing on. I think it's cashews or something. Yeah. Just spits it on the fucking body. And then he's like, you might want to leave. I'm going to cut off his fingertips and knock out his teeth.
Yeah, he's professionally like...
Yeah. It's so cool because at this point in the movie, you think he's just a gangster, bro. But like that, when you find out who he really is, it throws the second act of this movie. I don't want to
get to that yet.
Yeah. Because
I remember watching this movie and I feel like I knew the whole time, but then rewatching it, I was like, oh, you don't know the twist. Like I didn't realize this was actually a twist. So, but we'll get to that later. But I thought it was interesting because we watched, what was it? Donnie Brasco. And he's an informant and he doesn't want to kill anybody. But in Russia, if you're an informant, no fucks are given. I have to process this body. You got to do what you got to do.
Well, see, that's the thing. He didn't kill him.
Yeah, I guess, but
I mean, and you find out that he can still do all that. And
but the way he does it is like he's done this shit before. This is not his first rodeo.
Right. Well, I mean, you got to be that.
Yeah.
You got to be that monster.
But I'm just like the contrast between like a Russian informant and an American informant.
I will say this, folks. We don't usually say spoiler alert a lot because, like I said, most of the films we do have been out for 15 to 20 years now.
Right.
If you have not seen this movie and you do want to watch it, because I ain't going to lie, once we get into it, like it's going to ruin some shit if you haven't seen it.
Yeah.
So if you do want to see it, I will not say don't stop listening to the episode, but pause it and go watch the movie before you come back and finish this episode.
Right.
Because this is what I'm going to say, because like the shit I want to say, there's no other way around it. We're going to have to do it.
Yeah.
Like, we're going to have to spoil it.
Right.
But that being said, when he does it that way, like the way they got rid of the body, like he knew that it was going to pop up.
Yeah, because even Krill is like, this is a terrible spot. He's like, this is the only
He's like, don't we
spot.
weigh it down or something? He goes, the current keeps it down, takes it out to sea, which sounds right.
Legit.
But that's smart as fuck because it was a way he knew that he could still get out what he needed to get out, but it still looks like he's being a good gangster.
Yeah.
And that's the difference between him and Donnie Brasco's character.
Yeah.
You know, because he wasn't willing to do all that. But it's just like when he had to chop up them bodies, he didn't kill them people.
Yeah, I guess.
But he still had to tell them that, like, look, man, I just had to saw 4 people apart.
Yeah.
You think that shit was easy?
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? Even though I haven't killed anybody, like, I'm still seeing shit that I'm going to have a hard time recovering from. But I think the difference between Donnie and this is I think that Nikolai, like Vigo's character, is completely let go of his humanity.
Yeah.
Like, I think he's in so deep because when he has that meeting later on with his superior, he's like, you're fucking done. He's like, they want you back. Like, you've been in too long.
I feel like it's a Breaking Bad situation.
Right. Like
he enjoys it.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like at first it started off, but like, and you think that he's just completely said, fuck it. And he is this guy now. But the last, bit of the movie, when he makes that speech, it makes you know that he's still got it in there.
Yeah.
And little instances throughout the movie, he gives you he lets out who he really is. But it's really beautifully done. Like
it is. It's really well done. But, when we get to the end of it, but have you ever watched a movie and then you remember it ending a certain way and then you watch it years later and you're like, that's not how it ended.
Right.
I have an ending in my mind with this story or this movie. And then I rewatched. I'm like, oh, that's not how it ended.
Yeah.
We'll get to it later. I just thought it was really funny.
I will say this. I'm surprised I still enjoy it as much as I do with such an anticlimactic ending. Honestly.
Yeah.
Like, that's why I said it pisses me off because it leaves it wide open for another movie.
I didn't realize how open-ended it was until I watched it this time.
I
thought it was kind of a closed story, but it's really not.
When I finished watching this, I turned to my girl and I'm like, hey, man, so like the second one will be out, what, next year, 2 years? Like, we'll be back right here.
Yeah. And apparently they do have a script written. It just never took off.
So I forget what it was. Vigo said he would only do it with him or whatever, and then they tried, but then they were like, and I don't remember.
It's just crazy that there's a script out there, like floating around.
Dude, turn it into a comic, something. Yeah. You know what I mean? Graphic novel, bro. Like, let us get that. Finish that story, dude. Right. Because I do feel like this is the part 1 of something that was fantastic that we'll never get to see the back half of it. Because it really is, like, it's not even a 2-hour movie, I don't think. But
no, it's an hour and 40 minutes, which is crazy for a gangster movie. So
and it's stuffed so much in that hour and 40.
It's one of the tightest scripts. Like for a gangster movie, it's so tight.
And I will say this, I have never been a huge Naomi Watts fan. I don't know why. You
don't like The Ring?
I don't know. See what I'm saying? I don't think it's that. I don't, you know what I mean?
The Ring.
I'm not a big horror guy anyways, you know that. But
I'm not either, but I love The Ring.
I just thought it was stupid. And like, I think Scary Movie like made fun of it so much that like it kind of took all the seriousness away from it for me. It's like watching the original Scream now. Like, I can't do it. Like, it's just too funny to me now. Like, because they've made fun of it so much. I did enjoy the 5th one though. I don't know if I told you that, but
I didn't watch it.
I saw it. It wasn't bad.
Yeah.
Like, I thought it was cool.
I heard it was pretty good.
They paid some homage. You know, they made it fun.
Mm-hmm. I don't mind her as an actress though. Like, she doesn't really bother me.
Dude, that's insane. I don't know why I don't like her.
Yeah,
like,
sometimes we have that.
I don't think she's ever done a bad thing in anything I've seen her, but like she's never done anything that I'm just like, wow, she brought that movie home.
Yeah.
You know, but she does a good job in this one.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
So I love the Russian uncle because he's just like an old drunk asshole.
Yeah, and, a racist asshole.
Oh yeah, too. Yeah. And he worked for the KGB in Russia. Like he's an old, like, you know, like a military guy is what I would consider.
Well, he says he's from the KGB.
Right. Yeah.
Nobody believes him. I was in the KGB. No, you weren't.
And he's talking about the words in the book.
Yeah.
Pimps, drogos, prostitutia. Yeah, I wash my hands touching it. Like, it's just great. Like, and they're all sitting in like a fucking McDonald's, like waiting on this guy to show up. And how can you eat at a time? Because the mom's, of course, involved, and like it's a really cute little with Naomi Watts' character because she lives with her mother. She's always at work because she works these long shifts, and she was married, and I think her baby passed, wasn't it? Like she lost her own child.
She was dating a guy, and they were gonna have a baby. She lost the baby.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Because I know the uncle was like, "Just be happy it wasn't black," and I was like, or just be happy he wasn't black or something like that.
Right.
Just a very, very racist thing to say. And
I think it was because he was black.
Yeah.
Like, at least the kid died, but like, you know, it wasn't a white kid that died.
Oh, right.
I think that was what he was like hinting at.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. But anyways, she's going through a tough time of her own, and like they hear this baby just comes into her life, and this baby's got nobody, nothing. Like it's not even supposed to be alive, and you know what I'm saying? Because the mom being on drugs and going through all that stress, like, you know, how could a baby live in that environment, like grow right in that environment? The mom dies during childbirth and this kid's healthy and fine. Like, how does that happen? Mm-hmm. So she like feels,
she has this,
she feels like a kinship. Like she like wants to make sure this kid's okay. And like, she ends up like keeping the fucking kid, and they let her, which I don't know if that's like a thing, but like,
oh, you're jumping way to the end of the movie.
No, I'm just like progressing her thing,
I
but
see.
Like, because that's really all her whole arc is just taking care of the baby.
Yeah. That's like her whole thing is she just wants this baby she wants to find the family of this girl so she can deliver this baby to them so it can have a happy life and not get put into the system. That's her whole thing.
Yes, because she knows that once it goes into the system, it's over with.
Yeah.
Like, so, she's getting with Viggo Mortensen's character.
He says he's like, because the mob boss, he's like, I know where her family is. Give me the diary. I'll give you their information. So they meet at McDonald's. She gives him the diary.
Yeah, she's like, that's their driver. That's their driver.
Mm-hmm.
And the uncle's like trying to be a prick, like trying to be like an asshole. And they kind of like keep giving each other these fucking looks because, you know, he's a gangster and, you know, he's supposed to be on the other side of it. And he was like, I was in the KGB. I know about people like you. And he's like, sure you were. Like, they just give each other these fucked up looks. Well, the old man fucking spits in his face.
Well, the thing is he doesn't. She's like, give me the address. He's like, what address? And he walks out and she goes and confronts him.
Look, you're a nice person. Just let this shit go.
And that's when the uncle like pulls her away from him and spits in the dude's face, and he gives him the fucking.
I love that he fucking and then puts two fingers to his fucking neck, like, I got you, motherfucker.
Yeah,
like,
basically signing his death.
Yeah,
warrant, yeah.
Which you think that's what's up too, because you know later on the uncle comes up missing, so like you know that he fucked up,
right?
So she goes back to the restaurant and she's like, you know, what the hell? Like, you said you were going to help me out and everything. And he's like, I read the diary. He goes, and my son does some things in here that I'm not really proud of. And, you know, this and that, like, let me deal with it. Like, let me, you know, like, I just need everything that you got. So, you know. And I think he finds out about the kid, doesn't he?
What do you mean?
he finds out about the baby because that's the whole thing. Like, that's what ties him to.
Oh, yeah, because he reads the diary and she
Right.
talks about being pregnant and everything like that. But she also, talks about how
The old man beat me with a belt.
Well, but first she wanted what's his name, Krill, to have sex with her, but he couldn't quote unquote perform. And so the grandfather ended up having sex with her, like showing him like, this is how you do it, kind of thing.
You gotta, like, because she was crying and all that shit, and like,
I guess. No, I think it's something else.
I think Kirill's just like he's not made for that shit because his dad was that fucking boss. Like, he's like Fredo. That's how I look at Kirill in this movie. Like, he's like Fredo. Like, he's already made because like he's like, this is a fucking birthright, you know, like my dad's that guy and shit, but like he ain't about that life like Vigo is in this movie.
It's because Krill's gay.
You think he's gay?
Yeah.
I don't know, man, because I mean, he's fucking the shit out of some of these chicks.
No, he wasn't.
Well, you don't see it, but like it's led to believe, you know.
And he does have that part where they're having the party with the prostitutes, and he's like, I need to watch you fuck her to make sure you're not gay.
Right.
And
you did a very good job.
Well, the wife said something. She's like, well, who's the gay one now? Like, you want to watch another man have sex? Like, And then they were talking about him not being able to perform with the prostitute in the book. And then there's also the, what else happens?
But he's got kids and shit. Like,
does he?
Yeah. Because remember, they having the whole like Christmas party and like his kids are there and all the grandkids are there. Like, and it paints him as like this sweet old man. And like, he's really a fucking piece of shit. Like, you don't remember that?
Yeah. Well, I don't know whose kids.
Because they came and they took his blood because that's how they find out that I'm
talking about Krill.
I understand that, but Kirill was there the whole time. His kids were there. Like, you see him with his daughter. Like, I'm saying, you see kids. He has kids. He's married and has kids. Like,
okay.
Even if he is, I'm not saying he's not gay or like secretly gay or whatever, but like, it's not allowed.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of the whole point. Because
he's got a family.
The reason the guy got killed in the barbershop is because he was talking shit about Krill and saying he's a queer.
Was a faggot. Yeah.
So
and really, it was like, well, what was he saying? And he said that he was a drunk and an embarrassment and all that because Vigo didn't want to have the heart to tell him that he thinks your son's a soft ass.
Mm-hmm.
He thinks he's, whatever.
Yeah.
But I also thought he killed him because he was talking shit about his dad.
Yeah.
Because his dad was a rapist and a fucking pedophile and all that.
Basically, the guy had a loose mouth. He was talking shit about everyone, so they...
Right, so Kirill took it upon himself to get it done.
Mm-hmm.
But turns out, old boy that they killed, he got some people too that ain't fucking around. I love listening to that old man talk about them. They are like wolves. They have come down from the mountains. Do they know what Kirill looks like? No. Tell them Kirill will meet them. Or you'll deliver them Kirill. But yeah. No. I know I'm jumping around. But so we get back to it. But
so I was gonna say the people that they bring it's a really heart-wrenching scene.
Yeah.
So his nephew is there's some kind of party. I don't know what it is going on, and he starts to pee on somebody's grave.
No. It's a soccer game.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
It's Chelsea, which is a huge team in the Premier League.
I see.
And they have a big rivalry with Manchester United and a couple other clubs. So he's going to the game. Well, Chelsea lost. So he's like, down in his feelings about it. He's been drinking and he's yelling out and everybody's like, because like soccer is like their football over there. They fucking love that shit. That's their favorite time, favorite sport. So, everybody's been drinking. The games are early, everybody's out there hammered and they're giving him a hard time. Well, he thinks it's a fucking cute idea to piss on somebody's grave. And he's saying, Chelsea, pissing on the grave. Well, these dudes come up from behind him and cut his fucking throat just like he did their brother.
It's so graphic because they cut his throat and he's just like, he pulls his scarf down and you just see him bleed out like he can't even breathe.
He looks like Ezra Miller. I kept thinking that watching it this time. Like, God, this guy looks like Ezra Miller. But yeah, so it's like an eye for an eye type of deal. But for them, nah, we got to get the whole bloodline.
Yeah.
You took our brother, so we're going to get everybody.
Right.
So the old man gets scared. Ozzy gets scared. So he goes to the boss and he's like, hey, they say that they're going to kill me. And he's like, well, then why are you coming to me? He's like, because I fear you worse than them.
Right.
He's like, well, what do they want? He's like, they want to kill me or they want to kill your son, who, obviously ordered the hit. And he's like, do they know what my son looks like? And they're like, nah, they just got here from the mountains.
It's so shitty. Like, this is like some dirty ass shit. So he
goes, tell them that Kirill will meet him at this bathhouse and you're going to bring them to them.
Mm-hmm.
So all they know is that Kirill's a made guy and he's got the stars.
But they only made him just so he could be a
lamb
guy.
for slaughter. Yes, lamb to slaughter.
So dirty. So yeah, they go through the whole thing, making him a made guy because he took care of the grandfather. So he's like,
the uncle,
or the uncle, yeah. So that's when we got to the scene with the tattoos.
We were talking about earlier with the tattoos, and it's cool as shit because they they strip him down to his drawers, and they can
see his life story on his body.
And it's really cool, like we talked about, like they called his dad a weak fuck and his mother a whore, and are you ready to give your life up for this shit? And like pretty much like, making him, turning him into a made man, And they said that we see that you left 2 spots above your heart, and then you left, because they have one on their leg that's like they don't kneel to shit. Yeah. That's why they tattoo that on their leg to let you know like who they are. Because the guy that they slat his throat at the beginning of the movie, and they find his body washed up, they're like, he's a Voight, which is one of the clans. Mm-hmm. And they're like, how do you know? And they're like, because he's got stars on his knee, which means he's never knelt before anybody, and over his heart or something like that. He explains it. It's really cool. I wish I remembered it, but yeah, that's like that's what I love about that part of their organized crime is like your whole. It's like the Yakuza, like your whole like that old school like Yakuza motherfuckers, like bosses, when they died they would have their skin cut off and put up in a fucking museum. Like you can go right now and see like a Yakuza boss's fucking body paint from like.
Yeah, I have
whatever.
That,
like,
yeah.
That's fucking cool as shit to me. Like, I would definitely do that if I was fucking, you know what I mean? Like, because they do something where they like do something to the skin that it turns into like leather, so it doesn't like keep.
Oh yeah, it's the same that the mummies did,
right? And they like put it in like an oxygen chamber or whatever. But it's cool as shit that you can go see that stuff. Like, that's how much their organized crime has been blended into their everyday lives over there. But in Russia, it's like the opposite. All that shit's got to be covered. Like they can't know. Like it's a secret thing. Like it's a secret society. Like how the Italians are with it. I just love that. Like your whole story is right there on your body. Like they can tell who you were, like where you grew up, where you went to prison, where you did. I feel like some people do that over here. Like certain gangs have kind of adopted that kind of shit.
Yeah, here and there. It's not as like
it's not as prominent.
Yeah. Because like, people get a lot of like art tattoos, not like meaningful.
Well, they say it's because you don't want to be put into a gang file, especially if you're going to prison. Because if they find out that you're this or that, then they know they can't put you in A, B, C, or D building because that's where opposite gangs.
I wish you would have seen it. It just reminded me of you didn't see Nobody yet, have you?
No, I want to though.
It's so good. You basically know the story, right?
Yeah, it's like you think he's a pussy, but he's like an old CIA motherfucker.
Right. So he goes and he's doing all this questioning because he's trying to find information. And he has this tattoo on his arm that the bodyguard at this establishment sees. And he's supposed to be a big bad motherfucker, but he sees that tattoo and he locks himself behind this like the biggest, strongest door. But nothing is said except like you see the tattoo and it's fucking hilarious.
That's awesome. It's like the Kumite. Like he's got like the Kumite tattoo.
Right.
That reminds me of a show that I watched on YouTube TV. I don't know if it's still on there or not, but it's called Wade or Will or something like that. But it's about a kid. But anyways, like there's a guy, he's like a sheriff, and he like you think he's just like the soft pussy this whole time. He's like, did you know that at Cambodian prisons there's an ancient fighting tournament that only 3 people in the world have ever survived and won or some shit like that. And he's like, you don't go by choice per se. You have to be in this prison when it happens. He goes, and I was there. And he takes off his shirt and he's got all these fucking crazy ass like demon fucking tattoos that he's gotten in these prisons. He beats the living shit out of this guy. And he doesn't even want to fight. He's just like, I had no idea all that was there, man. Just let it go. Like, no, I'm afraid I can't now. It's hilarious, dude. It's like one of the best scenes in it.
Oh, that's really funny.
But anyways.
So yeah, he gets all these tattoos, and that's when they set him up to go to the fucking steam house.
Nice. Oh, yeah. They give him all these, and like they're old school tattooing him, man. Like drilling his ass. It looks like he's really getting tattooed, bro.
I know. I was thinking
as somebody that's been tattooed a few times in my life, like I feel like I can tell when they're faking or not. It looks like he's really digging in, dude. Like he's not giving a fuck, too. He's just smoking a cigarette.
Viggo Mortensen feels like the kind of person that would get a real tattoo for a role.
Yeah. Like I ain't seen his kneecap lately, but I bet it's on there, bro. I fucking bet.
He actually has to cover it up when he does movies, like makeup.
Yeah, man. They told me they needed 2 short scenes. I was like, I can't do it. Got to go be in makeup for an hour covering this bad boy up.
Right.
And this is, like I said, this is where this is the end of the second act. But right before he goes to the bathhouse is when they find the body and all that. And it doesn't really say anything, but you find in the guy's coat pocket, it looks like a 3-page typed up letter that's been put in a sealed bag so it wouldn't get like destroyed, like it would make it through the water and everything, you know? So he's like, And then it cuts away. But anyways, then later he gets his tattoos and then he goes to this bathhouse. Well, this old man's fucking bullshitting him about some deal where they can make money or, you know, somebody they can rob or hustle, some shit like that. And Viggo Mortensen's like, you know, like, I'm a fucking serious dude now, man. Like, you feel like you're bullshitting me. Like, what the fuck is up? We gonna do this or not? Like, we gonna make this money? And the old man's like, I will tell you when I get back from the bathroom or some shit like that. And then that's when these 2 dudes come in and they got these blades. It's really weird, though. Why didn't they just shoot him? I guess because it was personal.
There's aren't gun restrictions like super strict over there?
In England, yeah, that's true. Yeah. And there are like not citizens, so they probably would be really,
because they made a comment, I don't remember in the movie or where, they said something about guns, but like,
well, I felt like it was because they didn't want to make noise too.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah, there's a lot of noise.
2 guys, 1 guy, they thought they could just cut him.
Well, one of them's a heftier dude.
Yeah, he's a
bigger
big guy,
like a linebacker, and the other one, he's kind of wiry.
And they take out these fucking Velociraptor,
dude,
fucking
it's like
knives.
These blades that they hold and they like wrap around their hands. So I guess it's made so they could just fucking slice your ass, like, and not really, or like throw a punch and get you, whatever. Yeah. But it's a awesome struggle because they cut my boy 3-4 times. You know what I'm saying?
Down the back, across the stomach,
his
and then
ribs,
down the arm. But this is the scene that everyone talks about. Anybody that talks about Eastern Promises, like,
people that don't even fucking like this movie love this scene, man. I think it's in one of the top 10. Like, I've seen it on Watch Mojo or something. It's like one of the top 10 mob killings in a movie.
Yeah.
I want to say it's in like the top 4 every time, every list, because it is that cool. Like, my boy's ass naked in there fighting for his life. He's slipping and sliding, and that honestly is what saved his life a couple times.
Right?
Because they're slipping, and there you got fucking shoes on, and they're still slipping because it's a bathhouse. You know, you're supposed to be sweating, you're steaming up. You know,
it's really funny. Both Viggo Mortensen and David Cronenberg have been questioned about this. And they're like, whose idea was it for you to be naked? Viggo Mortensen said it was David Cronenberg. David Cronenberg said it was Viggo Mortensen's idea. So
I think they both knew they had to be naked. But like, how do you keep that acting up, bro, when you know your cock and balls are just flopping in the wind, bro? Right. And the guys, kudos to those 2 guys acting in that scene with him, because you know some balls touched them at some point, bro.
You gotta think in your face.
Not
on purpose.
Yeah. But. Especially when he breaks that dude's fucking arm.
Yeah.
And he gets the blade from him. Because, like, at that point, he's taking him to task. I love that shit. He rolls over on the big guy, snaps his fucking arm back to get the blade, and then sticks it in his fucking eye, dude, just to be like, fuck you. I don't know why he didn't kill that old man. I would have went and killed that old man.
Oh yeah, it's just like after. Well, he was injured so badly. He had to be
he was bleeding
hospitalized.
the fuck out. Yeah, I get it, but like, yeah, that old man would have been first on my fucking list when I got out, dude.
So
he goes to the hospital, and then that's when this movie just fucking it all makes sense. You know what I'm saying?
The first time I watched it, like I said, like I felt like I knew the whole time, but rewatching it, when this scene happened, the wife grabbed my arm. She's like, "Holy shit, I did not see that coming."
Yeah, it really doesn't. Like the first time you don't see it coming, man.
Mm-hmm.
You just think he's got like a little bit of heart left in him. But because he's the driver, he's like, I'm just the driver. They don't tell me shit. They don't do it because like he's trying to work his way in up the ladder, you know.
Yeah.
And then when they finally make him, that's when I felt like, okay, well now he's gonna tell old girl like you're fucked. Like there's nothing that's gonna be done now. But that's when this scene comes on and it just flips it all on its neck.
Right.
Because he's like, you're done. The same guy that found the body, found the letter. He goes, filing your report on a dead body or whatever is very original. First time for everything, I guess.
Yeah.
And he's like, you wanted to know, he's like, I had to do what I had to do, man. And he's like, you're fucking done. Like the front, they want you back at Scotland
we're pulling
Yard.
you out.
Yeah, you're done. You've been in too long. Like, and then that's when he fucking
he's
opens
like,
up his robe and shows.
Tell him
I have stars over my heart now. Yeah. I'm gonna take over London.
Yeah.
Me and Kirill. He goes, and then I'm gonna replace him. Like he pretty much said, like I'm gonna fucking take Kirill because he's soft. He goes, and then I'm gonna be running this shit in London. Which I don't know. Wouldn't that kind of defeat the purpose? Like, bro, we put you in there to stop organized crime, not become organized crime.
I was gonna talk about this later because I have an opinion on it.
But that's where the second movie would have been fucking dope because you could take it. Is he still a cop? Like, is he going to Russia to take down the bigger fish?
Well, we can end it real quick. So basically he gives all the information to them to take down the boss.
Yeah.
So boss,
they get him on rape charge,
right.
And how they do that is they get the DNA from him and the baby.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a fucking scene where he's like pouring vodka over his arm. And
because he's like, I got the.
They started sticking me with their fucking gay needles.
Yeah.
Like they're going to give me the fucking AIDS.
That's when you really see how he's a fucking bigot as well.
Yeah. Well, that's just how them dudes are, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, like so. But he sends Kirill to kill the fucking kid to save his own ass.
Oh, he can't do it because he knows it's wrong. Like, we don't kill babies.
And that's what it is. Well, he's struggling with it.
Yeah.
Because like he doesn't want to do it, and he knows he can't do it, but he's going to do it because his daddy told him, And then Nikolai and Anna talk him out of it.
Right.
We don't kill babies, Khalil. Your father's done. It's our time now.
Mm-hmm.
And like talks him off the ledge, man. And you get that feeling like, Kirill feels like it's about to be his time. He doesn't have to be scared of his daddy anymore. And now he feels like he's got his boy with him, so they're going to run it together. And that Viggo Mortensen literally only did that to get the kid back, and he's going to shit on Kirill first chance he gets, and he's going to take over. That's how I look at it.
Right.
But he tells Anna, like, look, you're a good woman. Keep this fucking kid and get the fuck out of here. Like, don't come back. And then he tells her that he didn't kill his uncle. He just sent him to live in fucking some
Scotland,
town,
I think.
Some crazy shit. He goes, it's nice there. He like it.
He's old school. He knows what's up.
He knows not to come back.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like, it lets you know that he's still got his humanity in him.
Mm-hmm.
But it like I said, it gave me the feeling like, man, we're gonna see another movie, dude.
So they took the boss out, and now he's taking over. So now he's the new boss, and it kind of ends very like you said. It's a little underwhelming because he's just sitting at a fucking
because they don't get to kill the old man, and that's really what you want to see
because it happens off screen,
right? You don't even get to see him get fucking arrested or nothing. Like
you just
obviously
see him.
They send him to prison for rape.
Yeah,
not for whatever, not for murder. Well, I don't know if they got him for murder or not, but
I don't know.
Either way, the dad's going away, and now it's their time to take over.
So he's sitting at a table at the restaurant, just flipping his little whatever it was bracelet. Is it a lighter?
Oh, something like that.
And then it kind of just
cigarette,
and then it just kind of ends.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember the movie ending this way.
What did you think? That they killed the old man? And
No,
killed
I
Kirill
remember in my head, I remembered him talking to somebody, and you in the restaurant was kind of surrounded by like these big Russian, like the guys that he got the tattoo with.
You were remembering The Godfather.
Is that The Godfather?
Yeah, it's Michael Corleone.
and then he goes inside and
they're all
shuts.
they're all kissing his fucking hand and shit.
Okay.
Don Corleone. And they shut the door on his old lady so she can't see it. Yeah, that's The Godfather.
Oh.
Gangster movie, just not the same one.
That's how I remembered this one ending.
Nah, this one's very underwhelming, like I said, and I still love it just because it is such a good movie. But it still feels like one of the biggest injustices in movie history to me.
So I wanted to do that because I wanted to say, like, do you think he's still going to be undercover, or do you think he is saying, fuck all that, I'm going to take over? Like, I am the new boss now.
Well, I think either way he felt, he had to tell it to that guy.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think, like, at this point, well, obviously he knew that he had to still take care of that kid or whatever. He had to help her. So I think that's why he was telling him that, to stay in a little bit longer.
Yeah.
Or, like you said, I'm going to run it now, and now I can give you all the information, all the people you want. Because there is that part after he fucks that girl in the brothel.
Yeah.
He has the cops go in and take her.
Yeah. Take her back home.
Cops think they can just come take our fucking women? Like, what's that all about? Like, and that's because,
he gives her like a stack of money too. Like,
yeah, and a prayer card like a saint, and tells her to live a little longer.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and she's just laying there. Like,
yeah, so he does have that humanity aspect to him.
There's little things he does in the movie that make you think like, well, maybe he is a gangster, but he's still got some heart left.
Right.
He isn't completely cold, but when you find out that he's doing it because he's a cop, like, he's not really
mm-hmm.
he's not this. He's supposed to be something more. So it does, and that's another thing that's great, because we really didn't know which way he was going to go with it.
Yeah.
Was he going to be a gangster? Was he going to keep trying to be the fucking good guy?
Because I always thought of it as he was in so deep that he can't get out now.
Right. That's the picture they paint for you in the movie until he's talking with the guy.
Yeah.
Like, and I still think that's what made this movie so great, is because they chose to flip it, because this could have easily have just been a dude.
Well, I'm even talking about after the twist. Like, even though he's an inside man,
right?
I feel like he's in so deep that he just can't get out now.
Well, that's why I'm saying that's why another movie would have been so much better, because he would have flushed that out. Is he really trying to do the right thing, or is he like lost in this now? Like, now he just wants to be the boss. And I think that second movie would have been all about that. Yeah. And
we'll never know.
Mm-hmm. But like I said, this is one of my favorite gangster movies, man. I was so happy to do it. Like,
what are some of the best gangster movies, like, ever?
Ever?
Yeah. Obviously, we said The Godfather.
Goodfellas is number one forever.
Goodfellas, Godfather.
Casino. It's different, because, like, would you just going, does it have to be about organized crime, or it can just have gangsters in it? Because there's movies that just have gangsters in it getting blown away. That's still great.
Like what?
Like Last Boy Scout. It's got a lot of good action, a lot of good kills.
I was more so thinking about just the organized crime. That's just like an
action, yeah.
But the reason I say that is because, like, those you just mentioned, this needs to be up there with them.
Yes.
I think it is just as good, if, as those.
I'm trying to think of some other ones that I just really fucking enjoy.
I mean, a lot of people will say Scarface.
Yeah, but that's probably like the end of it, I would say. We were just talking about Carlito's Way. Yeah. That's a good gangster movie. It still has the mob aspect hanging over it, but it's not a straight up organized crime movie. Mm-hmm. But they have a lot of big part in it, Yeah.
I just feel like this should be in the same breath. If you're going to be talking about Goodfellas, if you're going to talk about Godfather, you need to be talking about Eastern Promises as well. Yeah. And that
Sicario. I love Sicario, but 1 and 2. Mm-hmm. Second one, not as much, but this first one's still badass. Yeah, I think, like, you have to have a good story, as far as, like, I don't know, because a lot of it has been done. It's been done over and over and over. But why is Goodfellas so good? Because it's not like they're just throwing the organized crime at you. Like, they bring it up, like, because it's more, I don't know, The Departed. That's got to be up there.
That's a good one, yeah.
It's got to be up there. I don't know, man. It just, I think it's really just about the story more than anything. But
well, this one goes to show that you can really tackle the
Miller's Crossing, some people would say. I don't know. Because it's got that aspect to it. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of them that just have that organized crime element in it. And, oh, fuck, man. I even liked, whatchamacallit? The last one he did with the old guys. Scorsese.
Oh.
Why can't I think of it right
Irishman.
now? Irishman, yeah.
Yeah.
Even that's good. Pulp Fiction, I consider a gangster movie. You know, because Marcellus Wallace, he's a boss.
Yeah.
You know?
I guess
he's
you're not
got
wrong.
hit, man.
Now we're just grasping at straws at this point, but...
Yeah, but I get what you're saying. It should be up in there.
It needs to... Yeah, when you're talking about gangster movies, you need to have this one in there with it as well, because it's so good.
It is. I give it a 8-9 all day.
I would... I always do. Like, obviously, it's a highly recommended. It's up there with the greatest gangster movies of all time. But if I had to put a rating on it, I would give it a 9.5.
I was going to say, just saying that you're saying it should be put in the greatest gangster movies of all time means something to me, because I know it takes a lot for you to put something in there.
Right.
Of all time.
Yeah.
You might say you enjoyed it, highly recommend all that. But for you to say it belongs in a top 5?
Yeah, top 5 gangster movies.
That's about folks, that is the greatest Greg review you're ever going to get. Like, if we do 1,000 more episodes of this show, you're never going to hear Greg give it belongs in the top 5. Off a movie I give him. Now, when he gives me, he may say that, but one that I've gave him. But this is one of those movies that we've both always said we enjoyed.
Yeah,
and we've been wanting to do this episode. We've been doing this podcast for 3 years now, and we always we're gonna do Eastern Promises one of these days, And I've just been on a gangster kick lately, so I said, "Fuck it, we're gonna keep it going."
Yeah, there were a couple I wanted to go on another gangster movie, but I'm like, I gotta stop this gangster train.
I know, I want to get back to some comedy, man. I've been wanting to do something lighthearted lately.
I wanted to give you The Writer's other movie, but then I realized it wouldn't be a good movie to talk about.
Yeah,
the writer that wrote Eastern Promises, he also did Locke. Tom Hardy.
It was him in a car, bro.
I was gonna say we wouldn't have a lot to talk about. Like, it would be a 10-minute review, and
yeah,
we're like, yeah, it was pretty good. All right,
I definitely.
I'm gonna give this one to you so you can put it in your little stack.
Oh yeah, we gotta. Are you gonna autograph them with me? I feel like you should, man.
If you're gonna do it, I will. I guess,
because these are giveaways for our supporters.
You better not get them hyped up for something that you're not gonna do.
I am gonna do it.
Well, it's up to Nick.
They have to earn it, though. You know what I'm saying?
So anytime I get a new upgrade, like I just bought the 4K Eastern Promises, I give Nick my old DVD that I'm getting rid of, because what am I going to get $1 out of it?
And Parr has such a terrible fucking memory that he buys 2-3 copies of certain movies because he's like, oh, I don't have that. And I do have it. I have it twice. So what I was thinking of doing with all these extra DVDs that me and Gregory have here, we could start signing them and sending them to our supporters. But on TikTok, we have 70 followers right now. Mm-hmm. Every 50, I'm going to send out a signed DVD to all of our to a follower.
Yeah, we're going to both be signing it.
And I've even thought about it. If you follow us on Instagram too, or YouTube. Mm-hmm. YouTube. If you subscribe to us on YouTube and comment on one of our reviews that you followed or you subscribed on YouTube, you go in twice. Now, I apologize, they're not Blu-rays, folks, because
no, they're old DVDs.
We're not balling like that yet. We don't have budget like that. But we will send you a 1-of-1 signed by the cast. Being this beautiful man sitting across from me right now, we're gonna both sign this and send it to you on the house. It's a free movie, folks, and it's a little piece of history because you're the only person with a signed copy of Eastern Promises from somebody that had nothing to do with the movie being made,
except review it.
But you're welcome. So, like I said, we're at 70. So next time we hit 100, folks, anybody on TikTok listen to this, we hit 100, I'm sending one out. All right. And I'm going to do a TikTok on it too, but
yeah,
for the real fans that listen to the actual show. Because I thought about it, man. Like, might as well get a fucking sub out of it at YouTube, man. Like, got to try to get this shit, like, picking up a little bit.
Yeah.
I feel like we're too good of a podcast to not be doing something. You know what I mean?
We do something.
You know what I'm saying? But like, I feel like we're better than what we get. Like, I don't know. I feel like we're better than the love we get, man.
We get plenty of love, and we love all of our fans.
I do. Thank you so much.
So I was going to do that, but I said, nah, I don't want to do that. There's nothing there. And then I was thinking, since the whole Will Smith thing going on, it would be a perfect opportunity to do Demon Knight.
Oh, I thought you meant King Richard, because I was like, I already watched it. It's fantastic. Like,
no, because Jada Pinkett Smith is in.
Oh, she's in Demon Knight?
Yeah.
Oh God.
And I was like, that is such an opportunity, but I'm not ready for that one yet. You're not ready for that.
Ready for that.
You're not ready for Demon Knight.
Okay.
So I'm gonna keep on my little. I have this thing that I'm doing right now. It's like lesser known of my favorite directors' movies. So I decided to just go with my original pick, and we're gonna do The Game next.
Oh, dude.
David Fincher's The Game.
Just bought this last week too.
Did you really?
I did.
So as you can see, I have multiple copies. I have the original that I bought years and years and years ago. And then I have this one I bought recently. It's that Arrow video release of The Game. And then my wife just bought me for Christmas the Criterion version of The Game. So needless to say, this is one of my favorite movies of all time. Like, when people bring up David Fincher, my mind immediately goes to The Game.
You know what's crazy is, like, this is one of those movies that, like, I remember seeing it and loved it, but I was young. And I don't think I've ever watched it again. So
we talked about it because I saw The Game when I was like 9 or 10 years old. I don't know why.
Yeah, my dad showed me that movie, man. Like,
we just had it and I watched it, but it really like cemented my love for filmmaking.
This is your game.
Yeah.
When the dude on the TV starts talking to him, fucked me up, dude.
Yeah. So whenever I get into somebody talking about movies, I always put on The Game because I love it so much and I make everyone watch it.
Fuck yeah, I'm excited for this one.
Yeah.
Like, I've been wanting to dig back into that movie.
Mm-hmm. So you can have this go into the pile of, because I need to clear out some of my DVDs.
I might keep this one because I think I like this case better than the one I got.
Which one did you get? Did you get the old snap case?
No.
Or is it just wrecked?
I think it might just be like a old rental or something.
Oh, I see.
But yeah,
whatever you want. So I got a few movies in the mail. I'll do this one first because you said something. So you came over to the house and you used the bathroom and you saw that I put up a Jean-Michel Basquiat painting.
Yeah.
And you mentioned something about how you watched his movie.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I didn't know he did a movie. I've been watching his documentaries. Well, there is a Basquiat movie out that I did not know about.
That's the one I was telling you about.
Yeah.
That's the one I was telling you about. I watched that movie.
So you cannot find this movie anywhere.
Really?
I can't rent it streaming anywhere. I looked on every streaming service.
It's like an IFC movie or something, dude.
And I had to order this off eBay in French. That's how hard it is to get a hold of this movie.
Damn.
The wife ordered it for me because obviously I'm currently in an obsession with Basquiat.
Have you watched it yet?
Yes.
How'd you like it?
There are so many people in this movie, let me say.
Like big timers.
David Bowie, Dennis Hopper, Gary Oldman, Jeffrey Wright. Like, fuck me. Why have I not heard about this movie before? Oh, because it's fucking awful.
Yeah. It's not a great movie.
It's not a great movie. It does.
I just remember the guy that played him, I thought did a good job.
He did do a good job. Like he did Basquiat pretty as good as you're going to do because
I was going to say, I feel like I saw this movie when I was like 15, 16.
Really?
Like I feel like I was in later middle school going into high school and I just saw it. It was like one of those movies on.
It's just highlights of his life and they really lean on the drug use that he did. I really wish it would have been more about
OD'd at 26. So
27.
27. So
he died on my birthday.
He's in the 27 club, bro, for a reason. He went hard in the paint.
Yeah.
He enjoyed it.
But it's a cool little just to get to know about his life.
I can't believe that 10-minute conversation we had about it. You went and found that fucking thing, dude. Yeah. Like, that's cool. Kudos to you, bro.
Currently I'm obsessed with him. Like I have his painting right here beside me. I have his painting as my back wallpaper on my computer. Like
it's like gonna make you love the movie even though it's terrible. Like you keep watching it.
I like it, but I understand its flaws and they don't.
Was it a lot on eBay?
Nah, it was like
that's
15 with shipping. But the wife bought it for me, so
that was a sweet gift.
yeah.
Shows you she listens to when you talk.
Yeah. And then we did the Coen brothers recently, and then I realized they did a lot more movies that I have not seen, so I ordered this one.
That's awesome fucking...
It's the Criterion of Miller's Crossing. I've never seen it, so I figured I would get it and watch it. So, yeah, there's that.
It's one I don't own, but I need to get.
I've never seen it anywhere. And then
I used to see it all the time at the flea market.
Really? That's surprising.
I'm going to keep an eye for it Sunday.
Yeah, you should.
I'm going to go digging.
And then you remember Stalker. I bring it up constantly.
Yeah, I do.
I brought another Tarkovsky movie.
Cool.
Yeah. I know. Are you ready to watch it?
Nope.
Andrei.
I mean, if you pick it, you pick it.
Andrei Rublev. It's
say that again. Rublev.
I am not Russian, so I
Andrei
cannot.
Rublev.
So I almost have all of his movies now.
What is it, like 5?
Yeah, no, 7.
7.
I have 5.
Who the fuck let that dude make 7 movies, bro? Who the fuck let him make 7 movies? People just love throwing movie away or money away in Russia, I guess. Like,
they support the arts, Nick.
I guess. Not even if it's good art, they just fucking throw the money at it.
You've seen one of his movies, 1 out of 7.
I've seen enough. Let me ask you something. If the first movie you see for this guy, fucking you thought was that bad, would you ever go back for a second one? Be honest though. If you saw fucking Casino, first Scorsese movie you ever saw, if Casino was the first one you saw and you fucking hated it, I mean, you thought it was the worst fucking movie you'd ever seen, you're not going to go watch Goodfellas after that.
That's only if you have bad taste.
I don't know, man. I feel like I'm not alone in my assessment of that movie. I'm not saying there ain't people out there that love it, and I'm not hating on them for loving it.
Yeah.
But I don't feel like I'm alone by saying that movie was a fucking painful watch for me, dude.
No, I was actually watching a couple of YouTubers, and they were ranking directors, and they were talking about how much Tarkovsky bores them. And they love movies. So.
This guy's not allowed to be on the list.
But
bro.
yeah, he's not for everyone. He's an art house director. I liked him.
I mean, I'm not, like I said, I think that different strokes for different folks. Man.
Right.
He maybe he makes beautiful movies, and I'm too fucking stupid to understand him. But for what I watched, I want that 3 hours of my life back. Like,
I just love teasing you about it.
Nah, it's
funny.
I do like that. But I know eventually you'll probably give me another one.
Yeah, probably. When I see one that's worthy of you watching it.
This one's only 2 hours and 59 minutes.
No, they're all like 3 hours long.
Oh my God, I knew it. I fucking knew it, bro. You can just look at the cover of them and tell they're going to be boring as shit. Like, what is that even about, dude? Like,
yeah, this is 183 minutes long.
It's a Godfather movie, but nothing cool going on at all. Nobody's getting shot. Nobody's getting... The threat of what's going to happen is going to be the real treat, folks. We going to go in the room? Nah, we're not going to go in the room.
I didn't realize it was a poster. Aren't you excited? Look at all the work they put into like promoting this guy's movie. You don't think he's doing great work?
I mean, somebody's buying it. Somebody's buying it.
But anyway. So yeah. The Game.
Yeah, that's going to be a badass movie.
But
I'm looking forward to that episode.
Yeah, me too. I've been wanting to talk about The Game for a while. It is one of my top 10 favorite movies of all time. It is my favorite David Fincher movie.
You know, I told you I've been wanting to do Mallrats for a while.
Yeah.
And I made up my mind. I'm going to do Mallrats the week of my son's birthday.
Yeah, you named your son after that movie.
I did. After Jason Lee's character, Brody Bruce.
Yeah.
I wanted to name my son Brody Bruce, but
somebody stepped in and stopped you.
Well, I mean, my father-in-law had passed away when we found out we were having him.
Mm-hmm.
So my wife wanted to put his name in there, which
I see.
I was happy. I was okay with that.
Yeah, that's sweet.
Yeah, and he was a good dude. So I'm glad that they have that together.
Right. When is your son's birthday?
May 17th.
Oh, okay. So soon.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, it'll be probably my next pick. Not this pick coming up, but the one after that.
Right. Well, It's the game next week. So until then,
Tune in for the game.
later, y'all.
See you.